All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Hey boys and girls, we are going to talk about S&W shooters and prospectors. What is S&W shooters and prospectors?
We at S&W Shooters and Prospectors help people find treasure.
Did you say treasure?
Yes, treasure. Just listen to this amazing review from our happy customer, Jackie Sparrow.
Chocolate ship shape and a pleasure to deal with. I was able to buy everything that I needed at prices that were shillings less than others. I found my 9 pieces of 8 in no time. Savvy?
I know you're asking yourself, why should I shop at S&W Shooter and Prospectors?
Chuck Smalley has over 45 years of metal detecting experience. He works with each customer one-on-one to customize their setup to match their skill level.
So if you always dreamt of being a pirate, contact Chuck at S&W Shooters and Prospectors and he'll take a great deal for you.
Eye patch and rum not included.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show.
All right. We're back. We're live, I think. All right, so I see we've got the Bills in. We've got Mike and Scott and Barb and Tam, Tom, Kevin. There's Barks Detecting. Mike Lockwell, big shout out to Metal Detecting Central Illinois. If you're not a member of their group, you should go check them out. Oh, let's see. Yep. The Bortners are in. Good. Oh, wait a minute. And there's Clay. So we've got Kevin and Clay in. Well, good to see. So, after Sunday's episode, went back, reviewed, a few spots needed a little bit of touching up, little tweak here, and I think, for the most part, I think we've got it. I mean, from the way it sounded anyway, from what the feedback was that we were seeing in the chat, feedback from the call. Everything seemed to sound okay. Now, hopefully that hasn't changed from Sunday to tonight. And as long as that's all good, well, like I said, we may have it. Audio is amazing, if you're wondering. Well, I would say that's a stamp of approval from the chat. I think we may be finally getting this little gremlin under control. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm just checking a few things here real quick, and then we'll carry on. Okay, so first off, I guess I let days kind of get away from me, and I had forgotten that there was a speech tonight from the president, and by the point that I had found out, well, the link was already out there, the studio was ready to go, things like that. So yeah, you do have a point there, Scott. That'll be the final hurdle to travel there is once Chuck gets back from Alaska, and we'll get into that in a minute. So we found out that there was going to be a speech tonight, obviously the same time that we're live. So who knows if, honestly, I was kind of surprised to see as many people in as there are, and figured due to the fact that there was a speech tonight, maybe I should keep things kind of short. I mean, hey, that's what archives and replays are for, whether you're coming back to listen to this after the speech or whether you're going and finding the speech after listening to this. Either way, I mean, they're both going to be available for replay. However, I do have some other things going on that maybe I should try to get to tonight before it gets too dark. Once it gets dark, it's treacherous. We were sitting around waiting for Mother Nature to do her job, basically, and she did not. So somebody has to pick up the slack, which means gonna have to go and water the plants. Yeah, I see that, Bill. Yeah, not gonna miss much. Yeah, I can't argue that. I'll put it that way. You make a valid point. You really do. But that's okay. That's all right. Anyway. Well, heck, it looks like I'm getting the play-by-play of the speech right here in the chat. No, well, either way. Oh, looks like Kevin and them got some rain today. They got a half an inch. Well, That's, you're doing better than we are, really. I mean, it's bad when I have to mow the yard, not because of the grass, but because of the weeds. And then as I'm mowing the yard, even if you were sitting in the house or whatever, couldn't hear the mower running, you can see where I'm at based on where the dust cloud is in the yard. That's bad. That's really bad. The ground is dry. It's very dry. And it's really strange too. I mean, the weather patterns that we have had, we shouldn't be having this problem. I wouldn't think. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Either way, we'll move along, and I'll see here. Maybe we can keep this down to like a 30-minute show, and that way it gives folks a little time with each other. Still gives me time to get the plants watered before it gets too dark. Because really, honestly, I'd rather keep from breaking my neck trying to accomplish that. Especially with the run I've had the past few days. It'd be nice to make it through a day with no injuries. Some people, you just can't take them anywhere. Welcome to Ian. I see Ian's in. Nice. And I guess I did not mention it Sunday, and obviously tonight is kind of after the fact, so it's kind of traveling back a little bit. But for those who hadn't, make sure and wish Barb a happy birthday. She had a birthday while we were between shows. And she probably won't tell you. But a little birdie told me she was celebrating her 25th. 25th what? I don't know. Could be birthday. Just saying, just throwing that out there. I don't know. I'm not getting mixed up in it. That's all I'm going to say. And I know that, yeah, actually, I was just going to mention that, Scott. Usually, if I can catch it, I try to make sure and wish people a happy birthday. I'd love to be able to remember them all, and usually I do pretty good, but sometimes one slips past me. And in everything else that we had going on around here, I missed Scott's birthday. His birthday was July 14th. So, officially, even though it's a little late, happy birthday, Scott. I think I may have wished him a happy birthday on his timeline. But we'll go ahead and do it here, too. So, happy birthday to Scott. And I hope, that gets all the birthdays out of the way. At least for now. My fake Facebook birthday. Sounds like a little bit of a tongue twister. Say that 3 times fast. Now you just got to throw February in there, Scott. And then say it 3 times fast. Could be a tongue twister. Welcome to Jason. Oh, okay. So we've got all that done. So first we've got, well, actually we've got a few items of news. And obviously, as you see from the title, it's the AKAU update and more. So for those that follow we'll start there first. For those that follow the Beyond Sight and Sound group, Metal Detecting Beyond Sight and Sound Facebook group, or the Beyond Sight and Sound Facebook page, we made a post earlier this evening. It's got a photo of the flyer, and it also says to follow the link for further details, further information. When we had John and Alan on to discuss the upcoming Chicago Dig Fest in September, we also spoke a little bit about the IMDA ID.me team hunt, which you folks that caught that show, or you can go back and catch it again. It's archived in a few different places. We discussed what this ID.me team hunt was going to be, and it was going to be a 3-man team, and a lot of interesting things going on there. And the flyer for the ID.me hunt has officially dropped. So we have the flyer up on the Beyond Sight and Sound page. It's in the Metal Detecting Beyond Sight and Sound group. And if you follow the link that is included with that post, because what I did is I took for those that don't know, the IMDA is the Illinois Metal Detecting Association, and that's their Facebook group. They also have the Chicago Dig Fest page, things of that nature. But the IMDA group is a private group. You have to request to join the group to be able to see the posts. So it does no good for me to try and share a post from the group to the page, because if you're not a member of the group, you're not going to be able to see what that post is. Get where I'm going? So basically what I did is I took the photo from the post, and then I copied the link for the post, posted that up on the Beyond Sight and Sound page. Follow the link for details. Here's the link, along with the photo of the ID.me Team Hunt flyer. So that's up over on the Beyond Sight and Sound page. It's in the Beyond Sight and Sound group. If you are a member of the Illinois Metal Detecting Association on Facebook, you can also get in there and find it very easily as well. And I'm sure the payment information and associated fees with that are included on the flyer. I did not look down at the bottom to see. I'm sure it would be, though. And, well, quite frankly, unless something has changed, we covered the pricing as far as registration for the ID.me hunt and what all was entailed in the ID.me hunt when we did the Chicago Dig Fest update episode. It's been a few shows back now where we had John and Alan on from the IMDA talking about Chicago Dig Fest and the ID.me hunt. So there's that bit of news. for anybody that's interested, anybody that is going to Chicago Dig Fest, you're going to want to see this flyer. I mean, let's face it, if you're attending Chicago Dig Fest, it's not that much more to get involved in the ID Me hunt. And if you do get involved in the ID Me hunt, and you are lucky enough to win, well, find the flyer or find the episode where John and Alan were on the show discussing it, and you'll be able to hear about what you could win, if you should win, if you choose to participate. Either way, it'll be a good time, and if you don't choose to participate, well, that's okay too. They'll be fine with that. The other interesting thing with it, actually, is that if you only want to participate in the ID Me team hunt, you can do that. That's kind of nice, locals in the area or whatever, they can show up and they can participate in just the ID Me hunt if they would choose. But be aware that that does not allow you to participate in any other respect of Chicago Dig Fest. So, say you pay your registration fee, you want to go ahead and do the ID Me hunt, you get done with the hunt, you see the field that had been seeded, that people have been over, and you decide you're going to go over and try to see what may or may not have been left behind, and you can't do that. That's off limits. But if you're there for Dig Fest, well, then you can. It works out well. I think it's going to be pulled together quite well. I think they're going to have a great time with it. Welcome to Steve. And I'm sure that we'll have a recap of it as well. Unfortunately, obviously, Chuck, due to scheduling conflict, could not make Chicago Dig Fest this year. And obviously, there again, the gang at the IMDA would love to see the show there, and we'd love to be able to accommodate that, but it's not financially feasible, at least this year. Maybe next year could be another story. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So there we've got the news covered about the Chicago Dig Fest, the IMDA, and the ID Me hunt. It feels like those are a lot of... I feel like I'm throwing out alphabet organizations or something. Anagrams, acronyms. Either way, that covers that. So moving on, AKAU update. We have finally heard from Chuck. Chuck called Monday evening, actually, I want to say it was. And from what we hear, the initial reports are, well, Chuck had to take a break because it was it was getting a little hot trying to detect. Somehow or another, where they are in Alaska, it got up to, I want to say, 85 degrees. The weather is just phenomenal for the gang this year. So they came in and cooled off for a little bit, figured they'd take a little bit of a break and give a call and all of that. So we got to catch up a little bit. And from what he says, it looks like, once again this year, nobody is coming back empty-handed. Everybody's got at least a little bit of gold. Some may have a little more than others, or a little less, but they've all got a little bit of gold. They're all coming back with a little bit of gold. And some of them are some pretty nice pieces. And I'm sure that when Chuck gets back, I believe, I want to say Sunday. Don't hold me to that, but I believe it will be this Sunday that we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the AKAU Alaska Gold Trip update. And I'm sure Chuck will have a few pieces that he may be willing to show. And we know he's going to have some stories. I mean, they're always coming back with stories. I know that the weather has been phenomenal for them. I know they've all been finding gold. Some of you may remember, well, that's been some time back now, but I know he's mentioned the story a few times where he happened to find a small gold nugget that was shaped like a bunny. Well, apparently he's done it again. I have not seen it, but apparently he's done it again. John Ramoska wants to call in. Well, tell him to call in. But don't call the cell phone. Which I'm sure Bill can put the number out there in the chat. I have not been looking, but I'm sure Bill can put the number out there in the chat. I did not even realize I did not even realize that John was even in here. I don't believe I see him. Oh, he's on Facebook. Okay. Well, I wonder where he is on Facebook. He would have to use the call-in number for the show to get in at this point, I would think. So if you're listening, John, grab yourself a piece of paper and pen, because apparently you're not in the YouTube chat to see the call-in number. So if you've got a piece of paper and a pen, the call-in is 419-549-5744. 419-549-5744. And that's probably more times than I've said the number in a year. Usually I leave that to the folks in the chat. Now I wonder, hopefully he got it. Maybe he needs it again. I don't know. We'll have to check and see. Huh. I see that, Bill. Yeah. Yeah, remember we've actually had that happen before.
He got it.
We've had it happen.
He
So
wishes he could call him, but he's otherwise.
Well, and then apparently after the brief pause there, I had to mute the mic out. Apparently after all of that, John just wishes he could call in. So, hey, he'll have to keep that number and save it for another time. Maybe. So I did see, while all of that was going on, while I was trying to juggle all of those balls, I did see that Kevin mentioned that, obviously Kevin, well, Barks Detecting mentioned that one half of the Squatch Brothers in Alaska has quite a nice photo of some gold, and he does. Which is very good to see. Actually, they've all been doing pretty good, really. I mean, and when you stop and think about what the price of gold is, and you break that down, you know, the price per ounce, and you break that down to the gram, I think minimum, the gang's all coming back with a couple $100 worth of gold in their pocket, easy. Some of them are coming back with more than that, believe me. They've actually got, they've gotten quite a few pieces. They've also been working the slick plate this trip. They are also going to be, I believe, as a group, all of them are going to be doing a little bit of panning of some concentrates, I do believe. So, should be good to see. I was late. Can you start the show over? Sure, you can start the show over, no problem, just as soon as we finish. Gotta love Mark. Something else. Well, let's see. Yeah, there you go. The chat is pre-recorded. That's it. That's the way it goes, though. But from the way Chuck talked Monday anyway, there has not, at least at that point, really been any rain to speak of. The weather has been phenomenal, so it sounds like, once again, they could not have picked a better window of opportunity to get up to Alaska and try to find some gold. Now we just have to wonder, because you folks remember, last trip up, Equinox 800 hit a very, very amazing, I don't even know if you want to call that a nugget. That was more like a boulder, a rock, but a very, very nice piece. Who knows? Will luck be on their side and we hear of another very nice piece coming out of Alaska? We'll have to wait and see. Now, maybe we'll hear about some nice size pieces Sunday. Maybe not quite as big as that horse choker that was found a couple of years ago. But I'm sure we're going to hear of some nice sized pieces that have been found. And I'm sure, likewise, we're also probably, if we ask real nice, and his video holds up okay, we may be able to see a few pieces that he's recovered as well. I know when he contacted me Monday, reception is very, very spotty. That's why we haven't heard anything from him. He's been trying to post videos, pictures, little go-lives here and there as he can, as the reception allows him to do. And then also, he was not able to chime in on the show Sunday. Likewise, tonight, he wouldn't have been able to chime in on the show. There's been some changes in Alaska that has to do with basically the use of recreational vehicles on the roadways. Therefore, it makes it more difficult for the gang at the camp to make it into town where reception is better, where it might hold long enough that he could jump on and give us a real-time report from Alaska. So we're going to have to wait for him to get back. I believe by Sunday he should be back and be rested up well enough to share some stories with us then. So unfortunately for me, all I can do is relay the information. Now you folks know as much as I do as far as what's going on in Alaska. And when Chuck gets back, because I told him, I said, well, I'll try to let everybody know. I'm sure they're wondering how things are going in Alaska for everyone, this, that, and the other. I'll try to go ahead and let everybody know that the way it sounds, we're going to try to do a recap on the Alaska trip Sunday. So we'll see how it goes, and hopefully it goes smoothly and everybody travels safe and we get them all back to where we can hear what's going on or what had went on in Alaska. I'm sure by this point in the game, Frank's already out fishing. Because normally when he's up there, he'll prospect for a few days and then he'll fish for a few days. I mean, world-class fishing, you can't blame him. And he feeds the camp well when he does it. Matter of fact, it sounds to me like they usually take the salmon from the night before that maybe, they had a little bit of leftover, and they'll work that into biscuits and gravy the next morning for breakfast. Whew, that sounds good. Tasty. Can't beat it. Either way, as I look out the window of the studio here, it looks like I'm losing light quite quickly at that. And I did say we'd try to run for about a half hour or so, so we're going to make this one a little on the short side tonight, folks. I'm going to try to get out there and get the plants watered before it does get too dark, and we will be back Sunday with a recap of Alaska, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Hopefully they're all bringing back a nice pouch of gold in everybody's pocket, as far as the gang goes, and some great stories. Until the next time, folks, tune in Sunday. We'll do the Alaska recap, and do not forget, check out the Beyond Sight and Sound page, Metal Detecting Beyond Sight and Sound group, or the Illinois Metal Detecting Association Facebook group for the flyer of the IMDA Chicago Dig Fest ID Me hunt. It has dropped. It is available for viewing, and that will give you folks a very good idea of what's going on. Or you can drop back and check out the episode where John and Alan were on the show to talk about the Dig Fest update. Other than that, I think that covers it. We're out of here, folks. Have a wonderful evening.
We sure are glad you found us here tonight. Thanks for dropping by and joining in. If you like metal detecting, treasure hunting, gold prospecting, or even entertaining discussion, check us out Wednesdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, on your favorite podcast distribution services.